Hey, Fremont.Church, Pastor Ty here with some missional encouragement for you today. And today we're talking about good news. We're talking about the gospel. If you've been around a church before, or if you've been around FCC for a while, you might have heard that the gospel is good news. And that's a literal translation. The word gospel comes from the Greek word for good news. But what does that actually mean? If you've heard a sermon on this topic, you might have heard that the gospel being good news means it's for salvation. It's the message that the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus has allowed us to be reconnected with God and live with him in eternity forever. That's the gospel. That's good news. You might have also heard that the gospel is the story and life of Jesus. It's the characteristics that he displayed in his earthly ministry. It's the perfect representation of God for us recorded in scriptures through the life and person of Jesus. That's the gospel. That's good news. And I want to encourage you that both of those are good news. Both of those are a gospel message. That's true. But my question for you all today is, what is good news for your missional community? And when I say missional community, I mean the people that God has called you to. Maybe it's your neighbors, the people who live next door or across the road. Maybe it's your coworkers, the people that you see Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Maybe it's the other parents in your kids' sports activity or other activity, and you've gotten to know them over the practices and rehearsals, and now they're starting to ask questions about who God is. These people, what is good news to them? Take a minute, think about that. What would good news of the gospel look like to them? When we look at the story of Jesus recorded in the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, we see that Jesus brought good news to people in specific circumstances and met them where they were. He had meals with people who were on the outskirts of society, whether they were sick or maybe even just on the outs because of their culture. Tax collectors, they were not popular people, but Jesus met with them and had dinner with them, had meals with them, brought them community. That was the gospel. That was good news for these people in desperate need of community. For the people that he came across who were sick or blind or unable to walk, he healed these people. That was good news physically for these people in need. And even for our friend Lazarus, he died, and when he came to see his family, they were in mourning, they were in grief, and good news to these people meant bringing Lazarus back from the dead. That was good news. And so my question for you all is, as you look at your missional community, what is good news for them? As I think of my own life, I think the first thing is community. We're in the middle of what experts are calling a loneliness epidemic. And community, the community of the church, the community of believers even, is good news for people. We want to do life together. We want to grow and celebrate and live together. But we also need people to mourn and grieve with us in times of despair. And so community is good news today. I also think of a place to ask questions. I think it's fair to say that we all know life can be hard sometimes, and sometimes we just have a lot of questions about why the world is the way it is, why people are the way they are, or even just what's going on and how am I supposed to react to it. I think the church being a place where people can ask questions, or even the body of believers being a place where people can ask questions, is good news for some people as we struggle through the hard parts of life. And then I think another way is for purpose. Sometimes in life, you might meet someone who's just kind of going through the motions. They're kind of living aimlessly, and a sense of purpose could be good news for these people. Whether it be striving after something or trying to chase after who God is, or even just finding a way to serve or be served. Here at FCC, we partner with Compassion Network, and we have once a month a meeting for people to come and give to the community, give to people who are in need and serve them. That could be good news for some people. So my encouragement for you today is for you to prayerfully consider, maybe as you're prayer walking or even praying before you go to meet with your missional community, what is good news for these people? And if you're stuck, maybe ask someone who knows you, knows your missional community well, and maybe get some processing. Or if you need to, reach out to one of us here at FCC. We'd love to process through it with you as well. But know that we are praying for you here at FCC. We're so excited to see what God does through your life and hear the stories of God's faithfulness.